Alright, what you see here is a NuTone Pro Line industrial ceiling fan. I got this almost it's been over 4 years now that I got this from Mark Wilson along with another one in trade for my NuTone Verandah 2 ceiling fan, the brand new in the box one. That was the transitional model. So it was basically, it looked like the Verandah Deluxe, but it was a spinner molded version with a ball and socket. So yeah, and it was a 3-speed one, but yeah, I traded that for this and the white Pro Line one that I have, 56 inches. Although that one's been painted over, since that one, from what he told me, came out of a Valley Fitness Center that was badly painted over. It was originally white and it was yellowed badly, so he repainted it white. But since it's gotten a bit scuffed up, that one definitely is due for another paint job anyways. So unfortunately, that one I don't know how old it is. This one, however, is from 1986. So the 24th week, I'm assuming. Not sure how they did the dating back then for the Pro Lines. But yeah, it's a little bit scuffed up here and there. Also scratches on the sides and paint loss. But it honestly really isn't in that bad of a condition cosmetically. It has a regular length downrod on it. So it's not an extension one. I'm assuming this is a standard size one that they came with, as it looks just like the ones that I've seen in certain other ones, or like on the Pro Line 2s especially. So it definitely looks like the standard size downrod. But yeah, I've always liked the Pro Line ones the most. They're definitely huge childhood fans of mine. I didn't see too many of the brown ones as a kid compared to the white ones. But I definitely like them equally. But yeah, since this one had a shorter downrod, I think I'd test this one first out of the two. And also, the other one needs some repainting to it anyway, so I figured I'd go ahead and test this one first. But yeah, these were pretty common for me as a kid. They're still common, but when I was a kid, they were a lot more common. Over the years, some of them have been scrapped or replaced by other stuff. There was a auto shop near me that had one of these and a 48-inch one in brown, and that's now a Verizon place now. But it was back in 2013. I was actually intending to do a video on them. Only issue was I hadn't been by there for like a week or two, and I didn't know that they were closed. And next thing you know, the place was already being gutted out and the fans had already been scrapped, unfortunately. Had I known that they were getting removed and such, or the place was even closed down to begin with, and had I seen, and I'm starting the process of gutting the place, I would have been able to have gotten the fans, but sadly that did not happen. The guy even told me that had I come earlier, he would have saved the fans from me, but it happens. And at the same time, these really aren't hard fans to find. Finding used industrials in person where people are willing to let them go, that's the trickier part, unlike residential fans. But yeah, there's another shop further down that road, near the university that I went to, that has two of these. And there's a farm, Brooksby Farm, that has three of these in the next town over on longer downrods. There's a church near me, like 5 minutes from where I live now, that has three of these downstairs in the bingo area that they use in the basement. I do have pictures of those fans in the random slideshow of photos from 2011 that I did many years ago. Those fans are still there to this day, so at some point I plan to do a video of them once they have the regular schedule again, since it's still kind of closed down due to the pandemic. It's one of the few theaters in the area that has not reopened. And mostly they've been doing virtual ones, but passes and such. But yeah, I'm trying to think where else I've seen brown ones. I know there's a lot of places I've seen the white ones as a kid. Brown ones I've seen quite a bit, but I'm trying to think where else I've seen them. Um, Definitely a few auto shops. Um, the farm, the church. Yeah, that's really all I can think of at the moment, but probably think of more of them as I keep filming. And I am using it on the 4-speed wall control. That way I can get an even amount. So yeah, here it is on the lowest speed. It's probably going to be my go-to control for industrial fans that I get that don't have the original control, or if they use a solid state. Not that I'm against solid state, it's just I figured this would be a more accurate testing method for some of the fans. And that way they won't buzz. And the blades were a bit out of clock when I first hung it up. I did a pretty good job, I think, realigning them. And the swaying back and forth originally, now it barely even does that. It's a typical low speed I see these on usually in person. There's that Napa auto shop that has 4 of these in the white finish, and then 3 of the NuTone Pro Line 3s in the back portion. But those ones are all on the NuTone solid state controls. At some point, I definitely plan to test this along with the other one for NuTone solid state control. Has a low speed off of that, probably it's a lot slower than this. Seems to be swaying a little bit back and forth, but I feel like that's more, not so much the fan, it's just more so there's a little bit of a breeze coming in from outside, and also the fact that the bell canopy isn't straight right against the fan box. It's literally just, there's a bit of a gap in between it because of the hook that I'm using to mount it on. As you can see, there's definitely a bit of space, unfortunately. But you know, it's definitely a good low speed for it, even if it's not super slow like the solid state ones. It's pretty close to it now, but just a little bit faster. Now, these fans are known for having drifting capacitors and such. I'm not sure if that's the case with this one. Yeah, I'm feeling a gentle breeze from it underneath. All right, let me go ahead and move it up to medium. The reason why I can't really tell if it's actually having a drifting capacitor, because I've never really, on video I've kind of gotten an idea whether one has a drifting capacitor or not, or another way to call it is a failing capacitor. But depending on the footage the camera that person uses, it kind of varies on how it looks on camera. Now I've seen quite a few of these on what I believe to be high speed, but sometimes it could just be the variable speed control that they're on it. They have it at a certain setting that makes it look like it's on high, but it's actually not. So it's like almost like close to high speed, but not all the way on full blast. I mean, it's the ones at the high school that I work at, and the one that I used to go to as a high schooler that has the 9 of them in the not 9 of them, 8 of them in the gym, where the few of them are running have like a medium-ish high speed, or just like a tiny bit faster than this, and then there was like one that was going a bit slower, but I feel like that's more so the capacitors on them failing, since they would run them 24/7 for the most part. And every now and then they'd shut them off. But yeah, no, these are definitely a lot more better quality fans compared to the later versions of the Pro lines, like the Pro Line 2 and the Pro Line 3. Still not the highest quality industrial. I mean, there are more of a showroom type industrial back then, despite what people think. And the reason why I say that is more so because it was a showroom brand, NuTone, back in the day. But yeah, like this is like one of the most popular fans that you can find from the 80s. And there's the Verandah Deluxes, originals, Zephyrs, Victorians, Saturns. Like those, this is like one of the most iconic ones from the 80s. And the brown finish definitely adds to it. So yeah. All right, let me go ahead and move it up to medium high. So I'm definitely feeling a good breeze from it over here. It has been a while since I've tested a curved bladed industrial down here. Well, the only other one I've tested so far is the Hampton Bay Industrial, the SMC made one. But this one is on a longer downrod, so this one does have more of an advantage in terms of air movement compared to that one. I mean, I've tested industrials out in person. I felt air movement from them, but testing them up close like this is definitely different. I guess some of them I tested at the Fanimation Museum, for an example, but some of them being so high up, and if some of them, other fans next to them running, it kind of does affect a more of an accurate reading of how much air movement they produced. Alright. That's a pretty good breeze underneath it. Alright, now to move it up to the high speed. Alright, so it does go a bit even faster on the high speed. So another fan I tested on this control that medium high and high were almost the same. So yeah, just by looking at this one, it definitely seems like the capacitor is still in good shape, which is a nice thing. I mean, it didn't look like it was extremely worn out, like some other industrials I've seen. From when, at the same time, though, Mark was the one that had it, so probably cleaned it up pretty well too. But in general, it didn't look like one that was really worn out and such. Yeah, no, this one's definitely flying on a high speed. It's not sluggish, so that's a good thing. But yeah, now seeing this one and compared to like other neutral, like the Pro Line 2s that I've seen in person run on high speed, these definitely go faster than that for those ones, without a question. But yeah, these are definitely like top of my like some of my favorite industrial fans. Yeah, it's definitely pushing a good breeze. It's interesting because despite it being a curved weighted industrial, I am feeling a strong breeze from it even underneath it. But yeah, even like, yeah, like I'm feeling air throughout the whole basement basically. They're definitely a good fans. They're not most powerful ones. I mean, compared to other ones I've seen, but if the capacitors aren't, well, no, they definitely are a pretty good performer. I see why a lot of people bought these back in the 80s. And I know these weren't really too expensive compared to like some other options back then too, so there's also that to take into consideration. Alright. I'll shut it off and do spin down. Yeah, definitely it's a good performer. I'm not sure if I'd say it's about the same air movement as the KDK. I feel like it's a bit less, standing directly underneath it, but at the same time, it is a curve weighted industrial. So it is kind of, it's not really the fairest judgment. It's definitely not gold line by any means. Definitely say it outperforms the that SMC industrial, the Hampton Bay one. But at the same time, I mean, this one is on a longer downrod, so at the same time, I can't really say if that's, I can't really verify that actually now that I think about it. At the same time, I haven't really tested too many industrials down here to really get a accurate grade on the performance, but it's definitely pretty good. It's not really a bad air mover at all. It's just, it's not the most powerful air mover for an industrial that is, but it's definitely good. It's definitely will cool you down. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.